Welcome to A Slice of Life Hour on 938 Live for your dose of do-it-yourself motivation. I'm Eugene Lowe. Thank you so much for joining me here today. And I suppose you could say that loss is our destiny. It is one of the most immutable truths of life that we are constantly losing people and things we love or appreciate. And eventually, of course, we also lose our lives. It's not a pretty issue to talk about, but it is one that is crucial to manage, as many of us are ill-equipped to deal with the major and traumatic losses that will inevitably come. And I think one of the toughest losses to grapple with for most of us is the loss of a child. And today we're going to hear the stories of two fathers who were the main caregivers to their daughters who lost their lives to cancer. And through their stories, we'll also find out more about how we can deal with and cope with the loss of a loved one. I think something that is inevitable for all of us, that we will all experience at some point in our lives. And since 2010, Seng Health has been organizing the annual Singapore Health Inspirational Patient and Caregiver Award to pay tribute to caregivers and patients who have displayed courage, strength, and resilience in the face of adversity. And I have two of them here, fathers who were the main caregivers to their daughters who had cancer. And although their daughters eventually succumbed to the illness, these fathers left an indelible mark on the hearts of the nurses who learned valuable life lessons from the way they cared for their daughters through illness in their last days. And I'd like to welcome to the show Eddie Tan and Ang Kim Seng. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hi, good afternoon.
Okay, first of all, let's start with you, Eddie.
Yep.
Why did you make the decision to be the primary caregiver to your daughter?
It was not a difficult decision for me. Yeah, I knew I had to be the one. So when Phyllis felt ill, it's just an instinct for me to come on and take care of her. And my wife is the more emotional one. I guess you wouldn't be able to handle such a situation.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
I think for most of us who have not experienced it, we don't realize just how much strength, not just mentally but physically, it requires to care for someone who is suffering from illness. What about you, Kim Seng? Why did you choose to become the main caregiver to your daughter?
Because it was fortunately that at that time I was actually retired already, and I resumed the full responsibility to take care of her. So as a result, I becomes the caregiver.
Okay.
And also in that sense, also I'm more stronger than my wife.
So it's quite similar.
Because I work in the big industries, I handle a lot big accident and mishap. So I got the initiative and talents to do it.
So in this case, I suppose that kind of mental resilience is very important. And in your case, Kim Seng, you were retired, so work wasn't a problem. But for Eddie, was there any challenges? Were there any challenges at work that you had to deal?
When news got on to me that Phyllis has to be hospitalized, I actually took no pay leave to take care of her full time. So it was quite difficult initially, financially, But then again, Phyllis was the more important issue to tackle. So we just push on to that.
Okay.
Taking no pay leave. But then, of course, I have my immediate superior at work to thank for arranging all these no pay leave issues.
Yeah, and I think you appreciate your employer much more because of that as well.
Yeah,
right?
of course, yes.
Yeah, they have to take the emotional well-being of their employees in mind when they do this. Okay, coming back to Kim Seng then, you were the main caregiver of a 32-year-old intellectually challenged daughter who passed away from leukemia. So I'm just curious then, in your case then, would you say it was a double whammy and that it made it particularly challenging for you in that sense?
In a sense, because first we actually were very disheartened and orientated. Why this thing had happened, but we had to learn to accept it. And then okay, life has to go on, so we only have try our best to give her the full support and care.
Okay. What about you, Eddie? You were the caregiver of a 24-year-old daughter who succumbed to lymphoma. Let's talk about first, your relationship with your daughter. Perhaps you could start with the early toddler days. What was it like, and how did it evolve?
Yeah, the family actually enjoy a very close relationship. Both my children. To both of my children, I'm like a father and a friend to them. So as a father, when there's disciplinary issues or teaching needs to be done, I'm the one to do it. But when it comes to play, jokes, spending quality time in the family, I'm their best friend.
Okay.
So in a way, as a child, Phyllis was a joy to care for. You know, she give you the least of troubles. And then growing up, we have common interest in music and photography. So there's always music in the house. Then we enjoy a very good father and daughter relationship. And then we would share everything, which is with in the house. We're very close, very, very close. So when Phyllis felt ill, it was only natural that I took up the task of caring for her. Yeah, she's greatly loved by the family and friends.
Yeah, I'm glad that your relationship with your daughter from the very beginning was one of, yes, I mean we have to have that authoritarian role sometimes as well, but then you also strove to be a friend and sort of like a partner, with your daughter, because many people still believe that fathers should keep distance, from their daughters. Yeah, but that is, in your case, you've demonstrated that that shouldn't be the case. That you should be close and be a friend and partner to all your children, regardless of their gender.
Correct.
Okay, thanks, Eddie. And what about you, Kim Seng? What would you say your relationship was like with your daughter?
During her younger day, actually, we have what's called maid, part-time maids, and then part of the job is done by my wife. And when I retired 10 years ago, I resumed the full responsibility because I believe she needs that type of care. And from that day, actually, I'm doing practically everything in the house for the home and for her as well. So as a result, the bond and love is built over time. So that's why in the hospital, it's easier for them to do anything with me around. So when they got problem, they used to call me even at night, because she don't allow anybody to touch her.
Yeah.
And also, I would also like to thank the nurse in Ward 77 who has actually learned and master the art of doing things to suit her needs.
Yeah.
So it's not that easy. It's very difficult, and you need a lot of patience.
Yeah. I can't imagine how much you require.
That's right. Because even small thing, they call me at night every time. Sometime in the middle of night, 5 o'clock in the morning, I had to rush down again. I had to stay there for a few hours, and I put her to sleep before I left again.
And that's why the role of a family member as a caregiver is so important in that whole equation of caring for.
I think that in the present world, the nature of a home care and caregiver has changed, shifted more to the male responsibility than the female.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that is because on the street you can see, father is carrying the baby and not the mother.
Okay. I think I can understand how that has happened because, as society evolves, we also begun to move away from those very stereotypical perception of mother is at the better nurturer, and of course in many ways that motherly maternal touch is required, but then we also start to realize that fathers also do have that kind of, that it's just a natural physical strength and advantages that they have, to help with all the logistical and whatever that we require.
And also because the father are more have the special touch of not a very type of aggressive or violent manner. They normally will listen and discuss.
All right.
Talk away. When the mother said, no, that is not the way.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll continue to hear the stories of Eddie Tan and Ang Kim Seng, two fathers who were the main caregivers to their daughters who had cancer, and they were recipients at the recently held Singapore Health Inspirational Patient and Caregiver Award, organized by Seng Health since 2010. More here on A Slice of Life Hour with me, Eugene Loh, on 938 Live in just a while. We're back to hear the amazing and inspiring stories of two fathers who were the main caregivers to their daughters who were battling with cancer, and they are recipients of the Singapore Health Inspirational Patient and Caregiver Award, organized by Seng Health since 2010. And through their experiences, we also hope to learn from them, how we can deal with and cope with the loss of a loved one, something that we all have to experience at some point in our lives. Let's hear now from Eddie Tan, who was the main caregiver of a 24-year-old daughter who succumbed to lymphoma. I'm just curious about the kind of... can you take us through some of the main scenarios and tasks you had to do as a main caregiver of your daughter?
Well, we always have to be mindful of her feelings and emotions, and then attend to her needs and wants. So when she's at home, we have to keep a lookout for her all the time, because at times she may be too weak to move around. That's when we come in and help her, and then watch out for any signs of discomfort, difficulties. Make sure that the medications are all taken on time, that kind of thing, and then offer help as and when necessary, and then give her space to do her own things, even though she's very ill, that kind of thing. We have to respect her so-called, to me, is her privacy at home even.
Just because you're sick doesn't make you any less of a person. You're still a human being, right?
Just observe her, keep a lookout for her at a distance. It's within the house, it's not too big, and then make sure that she's all right, and the things that around her, they are all within reach. I think.
It's a very delicate balance, isn't it?
Of course.
Because the patient still has to feel valuable as a person, to be respected as a person, and yet she needs care from other people. So that's a very, very fine art, I think, as well. What about for you, Kim Seng? Can you share with us some of the things you needed to do or, as a main caregiver?
For in my case, you have to be patient and understanding, because for this type of child, you need to actually learn what you have to do, and you cannot rush for them to do a job. You must be patient, understanding, and then keep on assuring them. And then it's not that like what people used to do is just like a normal person. If the doctor give you the medicines, you don't take that as a problem. You come back to you again. So this one is a different type of treatment. So you must be patient to them and assure her, and then slowly make her comfortable, and then because of the bond and love, because of the patient understanding, then she will slowly actually follow your order. In your case, you had that added difficulty of your daughter being intellectually challenged, right? So it's not easy.
What about for you, Eddie? What would you say was the most difficult thing for you to do as a main caregiver to your daughter?
is the task of bathing her. Given that she's a female, I'm a male. Although she's my daughter, I still have to respect her dignity. All right. So at home, when she gets too weak to even bathe herself, I have to ask permission. So, can I bathe you? And then she's fine. Then I will go ahead and do it, but in such a way that her back is always facing me. In a way, yeah. Then I help to clean her up, and then for me it's just like going back to the time when she was a baby. I bathed her, you know. Then it was quite challenging at first, but after a few times, then I sort of get used to it. And she's also feeling quite comfortable having me to do it to her. Yeah.
I think the bottom line is we just need to keep reminding ourselves to be mindful of the respect we still need to give, these people regardless of their illness. I have with me today two fathers who were the main caregivers to their daughters who had cancer, Eddie Tan and Ang Kim Seng. We'll continue to hear more of their stories in about 15 minutes in the final round here on A Slice of Life are how the last days with their daughters were and their experiences with dealing with the loss of a loved one, some coping strategies that we could all learn from as well. Here on A Slice of Life on 93 Live, I'm Eugene Loh. Do stay with me. We're back on A Slice of Life here on 938 Live. I'm Eugene Loh. We're talking about the loss of a loved one today on the show, and probably the loss of a child is the most traumatic. Parents typically blame themselves for, maybe doing the wrong thing, not having done the right thing. They might have saved the life of their child, even if the reality is that they, probably couldn't have helped it at all. So there's a lot of guilt, going on and regret. And today we're hearing and learning from the stories of two fathers who were the main caregivers to their daughters who had or succumbed to cancer as well. They are the recipients of the annual Singapore Health Inspirational Patient and Caregiver Award organized by Seng Health since 2010. I would like to welcome back Eddie Tan and Ang Kim Seng. All right, let's start with you, Eddie, in this part of the show. Can you take us through the last days with your daughter? She was 24 years old when she succumbed to lymphoma.
Yeah, though I knew I was losing her to the aggressive cancer, and I had to stay positive and strong. For the family, no doubt it was painful for every one of us. We had to stay strong for her. The last thing she wants to see is the family breaking down. In front of her, losing the strong pillar of support all this while. The family and her best friend was at her bedside when she passed on peacefully. She did not struggle or suffer any pain when she left us. And it was a heartbreaking moment to lose someone so close to you, someone you raised over the years, who is well loved by people who knew her. It was difficult to let go, but we had to. We will miss her.
And I really applaud, you, Eddie, for having that additional task of being that strong face for the family as well, because, during this time where I would imagine anyone would break down, due to the emotional, heaviness of that, of the experience.
In fact, I have to show a strong front to my family.
Yeah.
My wife especially, and to my son. if I'm going to break down, I do not know what will happen next. But still, I have to keep a strong front for them to face up to this incident. Yeah.
What about you, Kim Seng? What were the last days like with your daughter?
Okay, actually, we are actually well prepared already because from the day is to her last day was actually nearly 2.5 years, and in between that, actually, I try to explain to my family members what are the diseases, what are the causes, and eventually know what will happen. And so most of them actually are actually prepared for it already, and in fact we are willing to let her go because of the suffering. And during her last day, we actually figure out between Saturday and Sunday, which is the day only, and we managed to call the church people and all her friends, the church members, and on that day she kept on sitting on the bed, and next moment she will close the eye. The eyes were just rolling, and then she'll sleep on the bed, and then we push her up, and then again and again. So we know it's a matter of just tonight, only when only. So we are very, very prepared already.
And I suppose no one can say that this kind of experience is a good thing. But misfortune does teach us a lot of lessons in life. So I would like to ask you both right now, what you'd say were the main life lessons that you learned from being the main caregiver to your daughter. Eddie?
Never give up hope.
I suppose when something like this happens, also every second and every minute counts and has so much more meaning.
Correct. And to give unconditional love. Yeah, to have the energy to struggle beyond to what you're having now. All right. It's a non-stop process, day in, day out. We have to be on our feet all the time.
Yeah.
And stay positive and strong. Expect the worst.
Yeah.
Hope for the best.
And I suppose you can also find some comfort in knowing that you did all you could and you tried your best.
Yes.
Because a lot of the time parents feel a lot of guilt and they blame themselves quite a bit, and they focus on what they could have done, what they should have done, but really it's what you can do right now that matters, right?
Well, during her treatment period, I know that she's in the good hands of the staff and nurses and doctors of SGH. So they have the full control of the situation. I'm leaving her all to them. Yeah.
What about you, Kim Seng? What was the main thing that you learned from your experience?
First, you must have the bond and the love, and this bond and love was built a long time. It's not when the person is sick and then everybody comes. Yeah. So as a result, the bond and love is not there. Even you give a special type of love, it won't take into effect.
Yeah.
So that is very important, the bond and love.
Yeah.
And also, beside the bond and love, also you must be able to be patient and understanding. When a person is sick, you don't do things that very fast. You have to slowly learn and understand what's the problem and discuss. The discussion and understanding also very important. Before you proceed to the next one. So all this built in is not the time when the person is sick. It must be long before then.
Absolutely. And I'm very glad you brought that up, Kim Seng, because this long-term bond that is built over time, it's not something you can do overnight.
You cannot do overnight. That's the reason why sometimes when the person is sick and then the family members come and they talk and then the patient don't listen to them because the bond is not there. And
it's a very good reminder for the rest of us who perhaps not having that sort of very close bond with our family members, to actually waste no time in doing that, because we never know when something is going to happen, right? Let's talk about how you Eddie and Kim Seng dealt with the realization of your daughter's illness, and how you coped with the loss of your daughter. Let's find out first from Eddie. What was it like? How did you feel? How did you manage it?
When Phyllis was diagnosed with stage 4 lymphoma, practically my whole world collapsed right in front of me. We have so much hope. At that time, I do not feel any anger or anything like that. All right, I just felt that, okay, what's next for her? What's the best treatment process for her? Then I knew that we were in SGH. I knew that we are in good hands. And then just to get my daughter to accept treatment, because the treatment, scans, blood tests, countless. These are the procedures that is happening every day initially when she was warded.
Actually, I find it amazing that you weren't angry. Most
I wasn't angry.
Most people feel some sense of injustice. They have
I believe if it comes, it comes. Yeah.
Was that how?
I know that it doesn't happen to everybody, but just that if it happened to us, we have to take it as it comes along. Be brave and stand up to it, just like what happened to my daughter. She's calm and very composed. When we break the news to her.
That it's we have to accept that it's a reality. It's a natural process of life, right? The battling and resisting it won't help anything. Was that your experience as well, Kim, saying that?
My experience is very different, because with Valerie, with this type of child, we know they have a short span of life.
I see.
So we don't know what is the next one, but actually next one was, this is the problem.
Right, okay.
So we actually more or less we already knew something will happen, but we don't know what type of thing will happen.
So you're mentally prepared.
We are mentally prepared. So we actually had to learn to accept it.
Yes.
Because the lifespan is in such a way is that much, you cannot drag any further. So it's a matter of time only. So we had to accept it and then give her the best care and support.
So that acceptance is very important. That's one thing that many people can't help. They always blame someone, themselves or other people. So it's
because during her school day in the school, we can see this type of children having a very short span of life. So most of them.
So the focus was much more on just
to give her the best in life.
Give her the best in life
for the short span.
and just having fun, as much as possible with the limited time that you have. Well, thank you so much to you, Eddie and Kim Seng, for coming in today and sharing your truly amazing and inspiring stories with us. Eddie Tan and Ang Kim Seng are two fathers who were the main caregivers to their daughters who succumbed to cancer, and they are recipients of the annual Singapore Health Inspirational Patient and Caregiver Award, paying tribute to caregivers and patients who have displayed courage, strength and resilience in the face of adversity, organized by Seng Health since 2010. And if you have something to share with me as well that will help us help ourselves from your experience, do email me. It's eugene@mediacorp.com.sg. I'm Eugene Loh. This has been a Slice of Life Hour here on 938 Live. Thank you so much for joining me.